Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. And today we are going to be doing a Bengals weekly roundup. This is the 7th episode of the Jungle Report by @BIB4Bengals. And before we get into the video, in retrospect, I probably should have. I think I should make these weekly roundup videos at the beginning of the week when, because some of these topics I've already kind of gone over and some of them I haven't. So, if you have, you probably haven't been watching. If you're a random guest, you probably haven't been watching all my videos. But if for some reason, by any chance you have, then some of this might be a little repetitive. But yeah, we're just gonna do an overview of what the Bengals have been doing this week. So, as a Bengals fan, this is really exciting news. Myles Garrett is gone. No longer in the AFC North, got traded to the Rams he was traded for Jared Verse, a first-round pick, second-round pick, and a third-round pick, I believe. Which, in my opinion, I think the Browns got the deal. I think the Browns got the better deal. Myles Garrett, he's still, I can't lie, he's still a very, very talented player. But, he's definitely getting older, so he's definitely going to regress soon. And, Jared Verse, very young player who also showed a lot of talent and skill. And on top of that, they get three different round picks, first and second and third, which I think is a very good deal for just Myles Garrett. So I think the Browns definitely won this pick, but it's still super nice for a Bengals fan. I'm sure Joe Burrow is happy about it also. It just puts a lot of pressure off of the offensive line and Joe Burrow. But something I really like about what the Bengals offensive line said when they were told that Myles Garrett was traded was that they kept it very serious and very, I really like their response. They said, "That's great, good for us, but we still have to win every Sunday." That's what they said. I really like this response. They're humble. They're not like celebrating, throwing parties because of Myles Garrett leaving. It's still football. They're still gonna have to make plays, and they acknowledge that. And Jared Verse is still a really good player, so they're still gonna have to deal with him. And they said we still have to win on Sundays. Good for us, but we still have to go out there and play our game, no matter who we're facing. We have to show that we are a good offensive line, and no matter which player is gone or coming here, we still have to go out and play and win the game. And I really love that response from the Bengals offensive line. Acting very mature. An immature person would just start celebrating, and I don't blame them for. They can totally be happy that Myles Garrett is gone, and I'm sure they were happy. But they kept it very cool, low key, and they just said we still have to play football. We have to do our job. And I love that response out of the Bengals offensive line. That makes me feel very confident that they're ready to go out the season and perform at a high level. And I think, and especially for a fan, it's just great news to hear. And just a big trade in the NFL right now. Speaking of which, I'm sure many people know this, but A.J. Brown was traded to the Patriots. And two big trades that have happened at the same time. Next up, we have the Bengals. OTAs begin. Very exciting. The Bengals participated in their first 7-on-7 drills at the Kettering practice fields right next to the Paycor Stadium. And a little off topic here, but the Bengals are proposing a $1.25 billion renovation for not only Paycor Stadium, but also the practice fields and just like kind of around the stadium. It has not yet been approved by the city, but I really, really hope it does, because that'd be an amazing thing for not only the Bengals, not only for them practicing, they have better practice fields, but, also for a Bengals fan like me, I've been to two Bengals games. One was an away game and one was a home game. The away game was against the Minnesota Vikings, which is a game I don't want to remember. It was still a great experience, and I had a really good time, but the score itself was not something I'm rather happy to talk about. And the second game I went to was the Bengals-Cardinals game last season. Both games were last season, and that was the home game, and we demolished the Cardinals. It wasn't the game itself didn't really matter that much since the Bengals were already out of the playoffs, but it was still such an amazing experience for me. It was my first ever home game, watching the Bengals, and yeah, it honestly felt like I was home. Like, it felt like it was with the people I truly should be with, and it was an amazing experience. I actually, since Cincinnati is so close to Kentucky, I actually stayed in a hotel in Kentucky, and it was literally like a 5-minute drive from the stadium. So that goes to show how close Paycor Stadium and Kentucky is. And we had to take there's like a bunch of huge bridges because it's literally right next to the Ohio River. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of sidetracking a little bit, but yeah, so it's really exciting for the Bengals OTAs to begin. The Bengals have released like a quick video about, just like a 30-second video about like some of the players like walking into the OTAs and some of them playing. We haven't seen like an in-depth. I don't know really, because I'm assuming like there will be more in-depth videos posted with like more raw footage, which I am hoping to see soon. But they kind of gave us just a preview because they just started, so I'm assuming they'll come out with more long-form videos soon. But yeah, very exciting stuff. A lot of hard work being put in by the Bengals. Everyone showing up. DJ Turner rocking number 0. He used to wear number 20, but he was rocking number 0 with his practice jersey. So I think number 0 is a very, very clean jersey number. I think 20 was also a really good number. I really like 0 though. 0 is a really nice number, and I believe Takario Davis was wearing number 20, so he may have taken on the jersey number of DJ Turner. And yeah, Zach Taylor, there's a press conference about, talking about like phase 2 of like practicing and OTAs. So definitely a good interview. And another thing, speaking of like, about the practice fields, OTAs, and if this $1.25 billion deal gets approved, some of the benefits about this renovation is the Kettering practice fields it's going to be they're going to get rid of a bunch of like just cement ground, and it's all going to be implemented with fields, and they're going to build a huge indoor facility right next to the stadium on top of more outdoor fields, which is going to be really nice. I think they're going to be adding big screens to Paycor Stadium on both sides, and they're also going to add more like exclusive rooms, like VIP rooms, and I think they're just going to add the seat capacity a little bit. They're going to have, the two sides of the stadium are like the biggest parts. It kind of reminds me of like Lumen Field almost. Like the two sides of the stadium, the two long sides of the stadium are really tall, and then the front and back of the stadium are like the smaller sides. And it's obviously out of all 32, or sorry, 32, out of all 30 NFL stadiums, it's definitely not the biggest, and in fact, it is the Bengals Stadium is actually one of the smallest ones. But honestly, although it would be nice to get like a renovation dedicated to just making the stadium a lot bigger, which would be a really nice and cool addition, just to have a bigger atmosphere. You know, it's definitely not the most important thing. And although it would be fun and cool, I think 65,515 seats is still a huge amount for like a sports field, because I mean the NFL has the biggest fields, and to me, when I went to that game, it felt like a pretty big stadium to me. I mean, I know it was my first game, but I honestly like the more important thing is the fans. The fans create the noise, the fans are what make home games better and what makes the home field advantage. And I definitely felt like that was a big factor. I think the Bengals fans are very, very excited, energetic, and I think they're, just like I've been saying in my videos, they're very motivated, and they're very excited and ready for the new season, and they're ready for the Bengals to have an amazing season because of the disappointing 6-11 season last year. So they are ready, and they want to show that they have full support of the Bengals. And but yeah, they will be adding on the top and bottom, they will be adding like a deck area where it's like a food and bar area, but you can kind of just look out onto the field. Many other stadiums have that. It's just kind of like a deck, so it's not like a seats, but you can still just kind of see out onto the field. And I think they will be adding some seats, which will be nice. And yeah, like I said, in the future, I'm sure they'll have a bigger stadium, but like I said, that's not too, although it would be really nice and really fun. I think, making the practice facility 10 times better and 10 times nicer, along with some additions to the Bengal Stadium, I think that's really important for the players and for their ability to practice and train the best they can. So yeah. Next up, one of the articles that was posted on Bengals.com website was that Shamir Stewart is ready for year 2. I went over this in depth. I have a whole video dedicated to this article about Shamir Stewart, and yeah, we can do a quick overview of it. So, Shamir Stewart had a tough rookie season. A lot of people called him. A lot of people thought that, or think that he is not a good player. He's a bust because he was drafted, I believe, 18th overall, either 17th or 18th overall. I believe 18th though, and everyone expected a lot out of him, and he had two injuries. One in week 2 against the Jaguars, an ankle injury. He was out for 4 games, and then his second injury was against the Bears in week 9, which was a torn PCL in his left knee. So he was out for another 5 weeks. So he missed half the season in his rookie season, and he barely got to experience what the NFL is like before he got injured in week 2. So it's very tough for a rookie, and he said that he's feeling much more confident in himself. He feels much more mentally clarified. He felt that in year 1, he didn't know exactly what he had to do to be a successful player, and that's why he struggled to make plays, and that he slowed the game down, and he really processed what he needed to do and what he can do to become a great player. And his coaches and players are giving him full support. They're motivating him. Players like Dexter Lawrence are pushing him really hard, and defensive line coach Jerry Montgomery has full support of Shamir Stewart and backed him up with the fact that he missed 6 months of football in his rookie season, and that it's really tough for a player to compete at a high level when they're faced with those challenges. And one of the funnier things was Shamir Stewart said that Jerry Montgomery gave him his first good job comment because of how successful the offseason has been for Shamir Stewart so far, and it was just kind of poking at the fact that Jerry Montgomery is a tough coach, and the fact that he said good job meant a lot to Shamir Stewart. So it was kind of a funny thing, but yeah, if you want to know more about Shamir Stewart's case, go watch one of my previous videos, much more in depth than what I'm saying right now. But yeah, this is more of like an overview video, so not as long as the other ones. It's just kind of, giving you some quick news and quick facts about what's happening with the Bengals currently. So, the last weekly update about the Bengals this week is the Ring of Honor candidates. There were 12 players that are candidates for the Ring of Honor. 2 players will be inducted, and there were 5 new candidates, which I forget which ones are the new ones and which ones have already been candidates. But I believe one of them was Geno Atkins, one of them was A.J. Green, another was, I think, Reggie Williams, and David Fulcher. So that's actually 4 players. I'm not 100% sure if those 4 are all new candidates, but I'm pretty sure they are. But if you want to fact check that, you can go to Bengals.com, and I can actually search it up right now. The 5 new Bengals Ring of Honor candidates. It is, yes, okay. Geno Atkins. Okay, I was pretty wrong. Geno Atkins, had that one. Carlos Dunlap, A.J. Green, which I had, and Leon Hall, and Andrew Whitworth. So I got 2 of them right. But the other players I stated are also candidates, just not they've already been candidates before. Yeah, and 2 of them will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Sorry, not Hall of Fame. 2 of them will be inducted into the Bengals Ring of Honor, similar to the Hall of Fame, but specifically for Bengals players. And it's really exciting. It means a lot to be inducted into the Bengals Ring of Honor. It means that you are one of the best players in the Bengals history, which also means you were just an amazing player overall. And the Bengals Ring of Honor was introduced in 2021, so it is a pretty new event. But I really like what the Bengals did with this. I think it's a really a special honor. It's really nice to honor these players who didn't get enough credit for what they did. And I think this is a great way of showing that, some of these players maybe didn't make the Hall of Fame, but they made the Bengals Ring of Honor, which means a lot. And yeah, I think that concludes the Bengals weekly roundup. The OTAs just started, so it was hard to go kind of more in depth about what's going on, but I do know that they have been doing 7-on-7 practices, and the Bengals.com has been uploading pictures and a few teaser videos about the OTAs, and I'm excited for the conferences and hopefully a more long form video about the Bengals OTAs, and so we can really see who's performing well, who needs to improve, and yeah, just see kind of where we're at right now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. A bit of a shorter video, so I apologize for that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you guys have a great Tuesday. If you want to, go more in depth in these, you can check out the Bengals.com articles and my Shamir Stewart video. And I hope you guys, learned what's going on with the Bengals right now. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, it's totally up to you. I'm not forcing you to like or subscribe, but it would definitely help me out, and it means a lot. But yeah, totally up to you. Hope you guys enjoyed the vid, and hoo day.